first sets of questions that we have to ask when we're talking about systematic theology concerns Revelation. Not the last book of the Bible, but Revelation in the sense of someone or something being revealed. In particular, we need to ask if, where, when, how God is revealed. And so when we're talking about revelation of God, it's simply an unveiling of God or a making known of something that was previously concealed. So it's the self-giving or the self-evidencing of God. In other words, God illuminates all reality. And this happens in two different ways. We can label them general revelation and special revelation. General revelation simply claims that God is knowable in creation itself through our conscience. And this was the case before Jesus came, and it was also the case outside of the covenant with Israel that we see in the Old Testament. General revelation leaves humanity without excuse if any should ever try and claim that they never knew God existed. Romans 2:14 and 15 talks to us about this. It says that even Gentiles who do not have God's written law show that they know His law when they instinctively obey it, even without having heard it. They demonstrate that God's law is written in their hearts, for their own conscience and thoughts either accuse them or tell them they are doing right. So there's a sense in which all of us rather instinctively know that God is there. And though there is this general revelation that God exists, He has chosen to reveal specifically who He is throughout human history. More pointedly, the Christian tradition says that God not only revealed Himself, but God became fully revealed. He didn't just say, "Yoo-hoo, I'm up here." No, He stepped into our actual history. He was very particular in how He did it. He didn't become human in some general sense or metaphorically. No, He was born a Jew. He was born a male Jew in the line of David at a particular point in time. Now, this is scandalous, not because He was born male and not female, and not because He was born a Jew, not a Gentile, but because He was born at all. God was born a single individual human, and through that scandal we see the actual history of salvation. And so it's important for us to pay attention to the details of that history that we have recorded in the Bible. And so God has unveiled Himself to the world in the person and the work of Jesus Christ. And so Christ is God's own revelation. 1 Corinthians 2:7 speaks of Christ as the secret wisdom of God hidden in former times, but now He's fully revealed in Jesus Christ. And so Christianity doesn't limit a special revelation to Christ. There have been other ways God has unveiled something specific about Himself, but ultimately all revelation points to Jesus. And so this means that God will never reveal Himself in a way that's contrary to the way He has revealed Himself in Christ. And the more clearly God is seen in Christ, Oden says, the less ambiguously God is seen everywhere else. As Colossians 1 tells us, Christ is the visible image of the invisible God. As amazing as that is to think about, it only gets better for us. And this is why the doctrine of revelation matters and is so valuable to us. Oden says that humanity is God's constant preoccupation throughout the Bible. The Christian study of God cannot neglect God's own prevailing interest, the redemption of humanity. No Christian theology can speak only of God and never of human beings. There is no part of Christian teaching that does not touch upon good news for humanity. And so revelation is for human salvation. Salvation that comes at a very costly price to God, and therefore it must mean that we are valuable to Him. Additionally, we are unique among His creation to be able to understand and receive the good news of this scandalous revelation. Classic Christianity seeks to understand in a reflective and orderly way what God has revealed. Anselm described theology as faith-seeking understanding. Studying theology is a spiritual discipline where knowledge emerges out of faith that comes from a response to God's revelation of Himself. And that is why revelation is so important to our own spiritual growth. Because you matter to Him. You are special among His creation. He wants you to know Him, not as a thunderous voice from heaven, but to really know Him as one of us. You are so important to Him that He revealed Himself to us in the most personal and relatable way we could grasp. This understanding of revelation will lead us deeper into relationship with Him.